I've searched all across the internet for some of the best and worst examples of people filling out the business model canvas. And what I'm going to do in this video is show you 15 of them and then rank them from S tier for super all the way down to F for fail. So that when you go to fill out your own business model canvas, you're going to know how to get the very best results. Oh, and by the way, we're not so interested in the ideas themselves. We're more interested in how people have used the business model canvas as a tool to represent those ideas. Here's the first example, and I love it. This person has used lots of pictures, which makes it really engaging. And after all, a business model is really the story of your company, and you need to make it a story that people are interested in. By using these pictures, it's something that draws you in and makes you want to find out more. So that's a great start. Another thing they've done is they've connected each of the building blocks. Look at the cost structure. The price tags have string that connects to the corresponding key resource that creates that cost. It's very clever. I also like how they've used the arrow to connect the customer segments to the value proposition. This person really knows how to get the most out of the business model canvas, and that's why I'm going to give it an A tier ranking. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is kind of what a lot of people's business model canvases look like. First of all, I do like that they've just drawn it out on a whiteboard and done it custom themselves. Great, why not? A big mistake they've made is they've written directly on the canvas. We use sticky notes because it makes it easy to move things around and change things as things in your company change. By writing things down, they've kind of locked themselves in. That's bad. Always make sure that you write one idea down on each sticky note. Don't do multiple kind of bullet points on each sticky note, just one. That makes it super easy to change it. And make sure if you're going to use different colored sticky notes, they have some meaning to it, like for example, showing two different customer segments. In design thinking, you have the double diamond, where you kind of start off by going divergent. And I think this is a good example of a divergent business model canvas, where they're just writing everything down in the beginning, but then there's another phase they need to go into where they converge, they come together and they kind of make it more formalized. I think you start off with one that looks like this, and then as you want to share it with people internally in your company, it makes sense to maybe use pictures like the other example as well. So not too bad, could be a lot worse. I'm going to give this though, because there were a few like quite basic mistakes there, a D tier. There are two things I want to talk about on this next canvas. One thing good, one thing not so good. So they've written directly on the canvas, no bueno. But what they have done is they've completed the boxes at the top to put the date and the version number. This is great because it's not a static thing where you do it once, you put it in a drawer, you never think about it again. No, what you do is you fill this out and you come back to it regularly, updating it based off of what you've learned in your business. So it's really great that they've put the date and the version number. So that's something that we should all be doing when we use the business model canvas. For that reason alone, I'm going to put it in C tier. What I like about this next example is they put who it's designed for at the top in that box, which none of the examples have done so far. So this is for a company or a product called Fire Away. Again, if you look at the key resources, they've written directly on the canvas. That's not good. Also, on the cost structure, they've put multiple bullet points on one sticky note. Again, not good. Overall though, I think they've done not a bad job for kind of like a divergent early phase business model canvas. So I'm going to put this also in C tier. There are a lot of things I like about this business model canvas. They've got pictures that they've cut out and stuck on the canvas itself, so I think that really brings it to life. They've written really clearly in capitals using Sharpies on all of their sticky notes, so it's quick and easy to read. One thing I'd say is that the customer segments seems like it could be simplified. There's a lot going on in there, but overall, I think this is a really good effort. So I'm going to put it in A tier. I like it. I think it's good. Here's a pretty standard example of what most people's business model canvases look like. And it's not bad. It's pretty refined. So I say they've spent that time in that second phase of convergence to be able to make it more clear and organized. But still, there's no pictures. They haven't used color coding. But it's not bad. So I'm going to put it in C tier. Now I'll put it in B tier. Next one, this one's similar to the last one, but it's a little bit more messy. I don't get what the color coding is. It's just a lot. I feel a little bit overwhelmed. Alex Osterwalder, who invented the business model canvas, calls it cognitive murder. It's too much, cognitive overload, and you just kind of like go, whoa, this is too much. And this is what happens with a lot of people where they've done a business model canvas workshop, they filled it out, and then they share it with people that weren't in that workshop, and they go, whoa, this is too much. So when you are presenting something like this, it helps if you have a second canvas and then move them over one at a time onto that second canvas so that it doesn't overwhelm people. I'm going to put this in C tier. Now I'm going to put it in D tier. So this is one of my favorite business model canvas examples, and it actually made me fall in love with the business model canvas in around 2016. And this is Nespresso. Strategyzer created it. And you can see it's all pictures, but this is a visual that doesn't need words because it just makes sense. And it's got lots of character. Like, for example, it's Nespresso. So a key resource, they've put George Clooney on the billboard there, which I think is absolutely brilliant to show that. The costs super clear with the price tags, and shows the revenue from, they get money from both selling the Nespresso machines, but also the Nespresso pods. Just genius. This is what I think is an example of an S tier business model canvas. This person has used color coding. So you've got blue for one of the customer segments and orange for the other. I like how they've used little drawings and sketches on the sticky notes, and it's just all organized and clear. The only thing I'd say that they could do to improve it would be to explain at the top in the design for boxes and the date and the version numbers, filling those boxes out at the top would have been great. So it's just quicker to understand. But overall, I like it. I'm going to put this in, I'm going to put it in A tier. I like it. What this one does well straight away is you can see that it's got arrows on it trying to connect different boxes. I don't see that happen enough. We saw it in the very first example, but the business model building blocks are not separate. They should be connected and reinforce one another. And so showing that with arrows, I think, is really, really good. I'm a little bit confused with so many different colors of the sticky notes. That kind of doesn't make sense, but it's very clearly done. And I like it. I like how they've filled out the top part as well. So I'm gonna go and put that in. I'm gonna put it in B tier. This one is really nice. I think this is also an excellent example of color coding, great use of visuals, filling out the top section clearly. This person knows what they're doing. I'm gonna say this is I'm gonna put that in A tier. I really like it. That's a good example of what you should be trying to get to. It makes sense if you start off with something messy that looks more like the lower tiers that we've got, like this one here. But then you want to make sure that you try again and get to a more clear and organized version with visuals like this afterwards. Let's look at this one. Again, some of the classic mistakes, multiple bullet points on one sticky note. No. Random colored sticky notes, no. I'm going to say this one could be a lot better. The use of it is going to go to, let's put it on D tier. This next one is a digital business model canvas, and it's pretty representative of what you see for digital ones. What I don't like about it is it doesn't have color coding. You can't see how pieces are connected, and there's quite a lot of text on it, which means it's a little bit overwhelming. It is thorough, so that's good. But overall, I'd say with these digital ones, they don't work as well as when you've got the visuals. So I would say, yeah, not bad, put it in B tier. Now this one's even worse, just too much text. What are the connections? They haven't filled out the top section. I'm gonna go and put this one in C tier. Okay, last one. Okay, so this is Alex Osterwalder, the inventor of the business model canvas, and he's done a lot of all of those best practices where he's used lots of visuals, he's used a limited amount of text, and he's showing how they connect between the different ones. The only thing I'd do is make sure that you fill out the top boxes at the top. I assume it's because he's been talking through the audience how it works, so he will have said it but not written it down. But that's a great example. Of course, I'm going to have to put that in S tier. So what do you think? Do you agree with my business model canvas ranking? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to fill out your own business model canvas, well, you should watch this video here next, where I share 10 examples of successful business model canvases. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. See you later.